You're going to make mistakes in ham radio. You're going to sound like you're new. You're going to get yelled at, and you're going to accidentally talk into somebody's weekly net because you didn't know it started at 7 p.m. on a Monday. But that's okay. It's totally okay. I've had some comments over the years and recently with these last couple videos about people that have been licensed now for the last couple years. They have the equipment. They've heard me on D-Star or HF, and they said, I was in a conversation. You were in a conversation, Eric, but I've still never made my first contact, and I wanted to push that PTT and talk to you, but I don't want to sound like an idiot. I don't want to break anything. I don't want to piss anybody off. Well, I don't want you to feel that way. Nobody does. Nobody out there wants you to be like that. We need to get rid of all these old curmudgeons that'll do that. They're out there. There are people that are going to get on the repeater and say, what are you new? A KR4 station? You just got your license? You need to read up. Dude, take it in this ear. Let it go right out that one. Part of ham radio is learning. Part of ham radio's experimentation. You know, I've made a lot of mistakes in the past, right? When I got licensed in like 2004, boy, when that thing hit the database and I had that Radio Shack HTX 202, I wanted to get on a local repeater and I was desperately waiting. And when I got on there, I thought I knew what I was doing by memorizing questions because HamRadioPrep didn't exist back then. And man, did I sound like a little newbie, but that's okay. That's how you learn. Do you think at my career that I'm in, I work on a lot of, you know, LMR radio and repeaters and stuff, but there's a lot of fiber optic and there's a lot of telecommunications, some of the stuff I'd never seen before. You know how I learned? With some training and trial by fire. That's right. It took me a piece of equipment or two to burn up in my day to figure out, don't do that, or this can't be done like this. But listen, guys, it's just human interaction. We got to get rid of the you need to be a professional stance when you get into ham radio. That's why it's called amateur radio. We're not broadcasters. We're not famous people with a microphone in our hand that the world is tuning in to listen to. No, it's communication between this person and that person. Talk like human beings. For instance, when you want to get on the airwaves, let's say you're on D-Star or Fusion or DMR or HF or something, you know, just keep it simple. I've always heard from a talk radio station I listened to in the Palm Beaches years ago, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk, right? And listening does a lot for you. You'll hear what people are talking about and how they work. You know, there are bad practices that are going on all the time. And these were not told in the ham radio license manual or on ham radio prep. They weren't taught this. But things like people IDing every single beginning and the end of every single sentence for you and the person. KM4MCK, this is KJ4YZI. How are you doing? Back to you, KJ4YZI. This is KM4MCK. You don't do that, right? So you're going to hear some practices. Doesn't mean it's always right. But the bottom line is, I don't want you to be discouraged from getting out there. I've done it. Everybody's done it. I'm pretty sure I could speak for Jason and Josh and Mike on the other YouTube channels. I guarantee, you know, it took a little bit when they first got their ham license. Everybody, man, don't ever look at my videos or any other person's videos and think that what you see and how we act is how you need to be. That is not the case. I do things the way I need to do on YouTube lately to get an audience because YouTube tells me they're not going to share my video because it's not interesting. So if I make a title that makes you click without some stupid thumbnail and I could get the point across, that's my goal. But I'm not like this on the radio. Man, I talk to people all the time. I'm so nice. If I hear someone that's just getting started, I've done it over and over. I hear them on D-Star and they're like, hey, I'm looking for my first contact here, you know. I will try my hardest to be that person's first contact, whether it be at field day, whether it be at a contest or special event station, because I want that person's first experience to be as pleasant as possible. I love when I'm on the radio and I hear people that are like, well, that was cool, Eric. I've watched your videos, but this was my very first contact and you made it so much more fun and easy to get in the hobby. That's what I want to hear. You don't even need to tell me anything about my videos. People are saying stuff lately like, oh, it's the YouTube celebrity. I'm not a celebrity. I tell them on the air, stop saying that. Just a guy with a phone that wants to promote this hobby any way that I can, and I think I found my niche on how to do it. So leave a comment below and do this, because comments are always good for interaction, and I love reading your comments. I try to respond to a lot of them. There's so many. Leave a comment and tell me, If you have gotten a license and a radio and you still haven't made that contact, and why? Or if your story that you remember when you first got on the air and you had a person or two that kind of yelled at you. Maybe you were talking into their net, you didn't know it. Maybe you suggested something or you mispronounced the radio that you're on. It was a Yaesu 990. No, it's a Yaesu 991. Okay, big deal. It's not a problem. Don't feel discouraged that you have to know what signal and noise ratio is, that you need to know what this and that is. Basic things. And I like to talk to people, about radios because I feel that if I engage with them on things that might be interesting to them, it's going to make them more apt to get on the radio and talk, okay? A lot of people bitch and complain about weather, about radios. That's all we talk about. Well, I've gravitated to doing that lately because I think weather is impacting everybody. Somebody can get on the air and talk about the weather comfortably, but go ahead and get on with that brand new person and start asking them about what their third order harmonic is on their radio, or what kind of, what's their phase of their antenna. They may not know that, okay? If you're an experienced operator and you're on the air and you hear somebody new that sounds like they're calling CQ, but it's really rough and broken, please give them a chance and respond to them. There are people in the hobby still to this day that are out there that are trying to be a blowhard, and we don't need that. That's why I don't get on 20 meters. That's why I don't get on 75 meters. A lot of those people on 75 meters that I've heard, or even on some on 40 meters, they've only gotten there on that frequency, but they'll make you act, they'll make you think, and they'll act like they have the best setup and they know what they're talking about. But really, they could just say, hey, I want to explore more bands, what's out there. That's what I like to do on ham radio when I talk. If I hear somebody that is very short with their responses, they're afraid. They may be nervous because they've had that experience with somebody before that has told them, hey man, you need to ID, it needs to be regular letters and phonetic, and you need to do this. And then they'll start inviting you to other things that interest them, but not you. So right away, you think, well, man, I need to get down there in 75 meters and talk with these guys because they're inviting me. But then you go down there and you get a bad taste in your mouth. You know what I mean? So I like rants. Sorry. I'm wearing the shirt Ham Radio Prep, and I've been sponsored by them for years. There's, it's a sponsor. What does sponsor mean? I promote their product. They help me out in the world with ham radio. Okay. So Ham Radio Prep gives you education when you need to learn about what you're testing. When I started in my license in 2004, yes, I used an ARRL book 20-something years ago and memorized the answers. I got on the air. I had no idea what duplex versus simplex was. Nowadays, it's so easy. Go to hamradioprep.com, use the code ERIC20 at the discount checkout, and save 20%. Get your technician, or if you want to upgrade to general, bro, it'll make it so much easier to know what you're testing for and what these things that they're talking about on the air actually mean. Don't be nervous. Let them yell at you once in a while if you make a mistake. That's okay. Builds character, gets you more of a better operator. I hope you enjoyed this video. More importantly, please share it. I don't care if you like or dislike or subscribe. Share the video and get this in front of people at your club or your organization and get them knowing it's okay to get on ham radio and really not be a professional. You will learn. I could help you. If you hear me out there, I guarantee you're going to say, wow, he is so nice on the air. It's not what I've seen on the radio or on YouTube. Yes, I love talking to people and I love hearing your stories. 7-3 KJ4YZI.